Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/PettyRevenge. In today's episode, discriminate against me because of my religion. Enjoy unemployment. Cheat me on my severance money. You pay double. Impatient to leave a shopping center, have fun going right back into the shopping center. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Discriminate against me because of my religion. Enjoy unemployment. Long story short, COVID killed my small business and I took a job as a server for some extra cash. I like my job, my coworkers, and my managers. Except one. Let's call her Sherry. Sherry is a uber Christian. Which is fine. To each their own. We had a fantastic working relationship until she found out I was a practicing pagan. Since then, she's been messing with me. Giving me the worst sections and not letting me off when I'm scheduled. Telling another girl who works there, my son's GF, I got them both jobs there, that I'm a Satan worshipper. I don't even believe in Satan, let alone worship him, you know, petty sh*t. So whatever. Until last Sunday. I was scheduled off at 9. At 8:50, she sat me with a 6-top table. Keep in mind there are gals who are closers that should have gotten the tables. My kid was due to be off work across the street at 9:30, so I asked one of the closers if they want the table. They do, I say that's great and go about my business doing my side work. I finish up and get the required signatures of the closers and head to the office to ask Sherry to walk me out as we have to be walked out and frisked by a manager when we leave. She smirks and says, "Well, let's go look at your section." Okay then, I've had my work checked, so whatever. She then starts nitpicking. Where the salt goes, how the sugars are wrong, sh*t literally none of the other managers care about. She then tells me I can't leave, I have to clean the table that had the 6-top. Completely counter to usual procedure. If you're the last one to wait a table at close, you are to clean the tables and fill the salt and sugar and sweep. Regardless if the table is in your section. She is literally screaming at me with customers listening. At this point, I've had enough. I tell her I feel like she is messing with me and discriminating against me. Her response is not, "No, I'm not. I'm sorry you feel that way." Her response was, "So?" Crickets. Me, so? You don't care that I feel you're discriminating against me? Sherry, nope. She then taunts me and says to go ahead and call corporate because she is an African American female and nobody can touch her. At least 5 other people hear this. Well, okay then. Next day I call the GM and explain the situation. He's appalled. I tell him I'm calling corporate and letting him know as a courtesy. He says he understands. I call corporate. They are furious and concerned about potential litigation. In short, Sherry is toast. I'll keep you all updated, if you'd like. Remember kids, religious discrimination will get you fired, so don't be an asshole. Edit, yes, we do get frisked to ensure we aren't stealing merchandise and have any taken out food inspected to ensure we have paid for every single item we are taking home. We also are required to use clear, plastic purses so they can see everything in there. Yes, it sucks. Edit 2, to clear some things up, yes, I work at CB. No, I'm not afraid of being fired. If they fire me, whatever. This is a job for extra cash. And while it helps, I don't necessarily need it. So I'm more focused on bringing attention to this than making sure my job is secure. And if they fire me, I have a hell of a litigation case, should I choose to do that route. So I appreciate the concern. But discrimination is a bigger problem than me losing a dime a dozen waitress job. Edit 3, for what it's worth, not that it should matter, I'm a Hispanic female. So we are both female minorities. Not that I'm trying to have a discrimination Olympics here. But we are both melanated people. If that matters. Update, my son is working this evening and he texted me saying Sherry was getting shitty with him. So she is now taking it out on my son. Cheat me on my severance money. You pay double. I got a temporary layoff once. Because of the company politics, I knew it was actually permanent. But legally, by claiming it was temporary, they didn't have to give me any severance money at that time. Had been there 7 years. If I was not called back within 12 months, temporary legally became permanent. They gambled that I would forget. I remembered. They gambled that I wouldn't know the law. They lost. 54 weeks after being laid off, no check in the mail, I make a call. I had already called the government, and made sure the company knew this. The head of HR hid behind his voicemail, and I didn't want to talk to him anyway. So I called and left a very polite message after 10 p.m. According to my conversations with the Ministry of Labor, at this time I am owed. It was actually only one conversation with the Ministry of Labor. But I suggested it was multiple. To add a little pressure. Got a phone call, 10 a.m. the next morning, my check went out that day. They legally had to pay me double. And they knew it. Addendum, this was probably 15 plus years ago. Rules may have changed since then. The correct term may have been termination pay. Termination pay was equal to severance pay. I was owed termination pay plus severance pay, after 12 months. I really should have called a lawyer. Impatient to leave a shopping center, have fun going right back into the shopping center. So my wife and I are heading to my parents' house for a visit. I've been driving for 2 hours and I'm ready to swap drivers and get some lunch. So we pull into the shopping center in Edgewater, just south of Annapolis on RT4, and get some Wendy's. After lunch my wife takes the wheel and we head out. At this entrance/exit, you're pulling onto the lane that if you don't get out of it right away, you're in the right turn only lane that puts you back into the same shopping center. So the wife sees 2 gaps in the traffic. One she could barely pull out into and get into position if she had the reactions of a fighter pilot, and if she misjudged might have ended up with her cutting someone off. The second gap is 6 cars later and is large enough to get at least another 5 cars out. Certainly more than enough to allow us and the only car behind us. But this person isn't having it. The fact that my wife let the first gap past means that she's being inattentive and thus needs to have someone, him, lean on the horn. As my arm was out the window, I gave the obligatory middle finger in way of response. He starts pulsing the horn and I just keep pumping my fist with extended mid-digit into the air in time of his honks. The 6 cars go past and there's the nice long gap. She pulls out, changes into the travel lane, and that's that. Except that this fellow decided to rev his engine and scream up alongside. He has his window rolled down and he's leaning out of it, glaring at me and says, F.K.U. in a voice that one might imagine any of the typical over-muscled, underbrained jock stereotype from entertainment media. Imagine what Moose from Archie Comics might sound like. As he's still alongside me I just lean back and holler, "You ain't got a," typical nickname for Richard, big enough. He turned bright red in the face. The sort of red that says, I've got high blood pressure and I'm now so mad that I might burst a vein. At this point we're passing the light and he has to turn back into the shopping center he was so anxious to escape from. It's not much of a revenge and quite petty, but a person like that is likely to stew over that insult while my wife and I laughed and giggled all the way to my folks' house where we shared the take and they got a chuckle. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.